So hey guys, Don here. Long overdue, but here I want you to perfect your macros. Get your own diet plan. We're gonna do it right here, right now. So it's way more simpler than you think. First off, did you get your maintenance numbers yet? Kind of figure that out. If you didn't, don't worry. Like I said, let's just start at your current body weight times 11. You got your current body weight times 11. What is that number? Write that number down. All right? That is the number that you're going to try to hit every single day. For instance, let's just say my maintenance is 2,000. I want to lose a pound a week. So there's two ways I can go about it. I could just eat 1,500 calories a day, or I can go 1,750 calories, and then I'll do an extra 250 worth of any type of cardio. I like to walk at an incline. That is me. I like to walk at an incline. So for instance, you look at this video right here, you'll see that 250 calories is probably around 25 minutes. I like to go at a very high incline, and so there's a couple ways to go about it. You don't have to do incline walking. You could do something else. The numbers on the machines aren't always perfect. So you do an extra 5 minutes or so, it won't hurt. It's going to be way better for you. So let's just do that. So if you're busy, eat less. If you have some time for working out, do that extra route where you eat a little bit more calories and then work off some of those calories as well. And then you'll get to your magic number. That's if you want to lose a pound. You figure it out. Half a pound, 250. A pound, 500. 2 pounds, 1,000 deficit. That's pretty aggressive. But if you want to do it, you can do it. I don't think you have to. But pace yourself on what you think you want to do. Now, let's just take the 1,500 calories as my number that I want to do. Let's just figure it out. I'm always working. Let's just figure it out like that. But you take your number. Take your number, okay? The number times, like I said, your body weight times 11. Take that number for you. Now, the first thing we do is when we want to get our protein number in. There's this figure of 1 gram of protein or 1 gram of body weight, and that's a good figure. But there's more studies showing that you can get everything your body needs with 0.75. I personally go with 0.8 of times your body weight, and that will equal the amount of grams you need. There's this awesome video by Jeremy Ethier that actually shows this data, and I'll actually link it below. Now there's this actual number of 0.55, which you'll almost get all your needs. So no matter what, try not to go below that. So now you actually have this buffer zone. And so what's the buffer zone? 0.75 and 1. So say for instance, I weigh 150. 0.75 times 150 is about 112. And then of course you have your 1, which is times 150 is 150. Now you do 112 to 150. That is my protein buffer zone. That is all I need, and I'll know that I'll be taken care of with all my protein needs for the day. 112 to 150. If all is going bad in the day and you haven't eaten all day, try not to go 0.55. Mine would be then like 82 grams of protein. Second, fats. I personally would not go below 40 grams of fat. And also I would have a ceiling of about 60 grams, 65. If you go over, definitely not a deal breaker. Why I say that? Because it'll be great for you hormonally. But what I try to do is I really try to eat more responsibly. So say I have if I tolerate just like say half and half. Like I said in my last video, junk food comprises of a lot of fat and a lot of carb and not as much protein. So you'll start noticing your protein numbers start lagging behind. Have all your fats and your carbs taken care of, and your protein numbers are so low that you're just guzzling down a bunch of protein at the end of the day just to get your protein numbers up. Let's try not to do that, all right? And like I said, you can technically still eat that stuff. Like I said, you're going to deal with extra inflammation. You don't want to do all that. You just got to be more responsible. And I think keeping your fats that low is a great way to do that. So let's go ahead and take the highest protein amount, which is 150 grams. So say 150. I know that 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And so when I do the math, 150 grams times 4, it's going to be 600 calories. Now I take the fats, of course, right? I take the fats. The highest number of fats, which is 60, times 9, which is 9 calories per 1 gram of fat, is 540. So now I have 540 plus 600. I have 1500 calories that I want to eat for the day. That's 360 calories I have left for carbs. One carb is 4 calories. Do the math. 360 divided by 4. 90 grams of carbs that you could eat for the day. And that is how I set my macro. Of course, you have your own numbers. You plug that in. Whatever's left for carb, go ahead, divide it by 4. You'll have your grams of carbs that you could have for the day. At the same time, if you want to go the extra route, you want to eat a little bit more because you say, I want to do a little bit more exercise. Say if it's 1750, now I know I have 150-ish grams of carbs that I can eat for the day, but you better do that extra exercise, all right? So now what you, of course, you're doing, you're plugging all these numbers into, say, the OneUp app or the MyFitnessPal app, and what you're seeing is like you've created this buffer zone, so you're not too worried of getting this absolute number that you absolutely have to hit. You have a pretty big buffer zone now, all right? And it's gonna take care of you. So trust the process, guys, all right? Now at the same time, I do try to have my meal set for the day before. I'll look in the pantry. I'll also look at things like how certain numbers add up for certain types of food. And so what it does, it keeps things very simple, meaning that as long as it's within my buffer zone, I'll go ahead and eat that. That's perfectly fine. Okay, now, but one last thing is now, so you have your numbers, you have your macros, you have your diet, you have your calories. One thing that you can try to do is eat 4 meals a day and have at least 20 grams of protein per meal. That is called protein pacing. So for instance, say I'll eat my first meal like around 8:30ish. Second meal, I'll eat around 12:30. Third meal, I'll probably have like around 3:30ish or 4. And then my last meal of the day is when I get home, probably gonna be around 6:30 to 7. For instance, you can't do that. Say you have to have 3 meals, you have to have 2 meals, that's fine. It's not a deal breaker. But I find that 4 meals keeps me really like full throughout the day. Like I'm not struggling whatsoever. You don't have to have the exact same meal calories every single meal as well. Say, for instance, I'll have more in the morning simply because it's gonna be more around my workout. So you don't have to do that. As long as each meal has 20 grams of protein in it, you'll be fine, and spread out the fats and carbs all around exactly however you want. All right, so what you just saw is a calorie restricted diet. What I'm doing, like I said, I'd show you, I'm actually doing protein pacing. And what I have incorporated is also intermittent fasting. So there was this diet showcased by Thomas DeLauer online on YouTube, and it mentioned that this specific diet, there was more than a 30% visceral fat reduction than any other diet he saw. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And so I follow the same rules that I set out for you. I do 4 meals a day, but I actually have 1,800 calories a day. I weigh 160. So my protein needs are anywhere from 120 to 160. That's my buffer zone. My fats, I don't go any higher than 60. I don't go any lower than 40. If I go lower than 40, it's gonna be like one day maybe. It depends on what I'm eating. If I'm eating leaner chicken as opposed to ground beef. My carbs are really whatever's left over. If I do all my meals for the day, I can figure out how much rice and ground beef I need, when I pair it together. So, and as well, if I want to do a protein ice cream or even just a shake at the end. Extra instances is if I see my protein is lagging, maybe in my milk, I'll switch out the whole milk. I'll switch it out to, say, Fairlife fat-free milk. So my protein numbers will go up a little bit higher because it's less calories. So I could drink more of that specific fat-free milk, and I'll get more of a higher protein number for the day. So as you can see, there's a lot of options that you can do. Now, the only difference between the calorie restriction that I showed you is that I also include intermittent fasting on Thursday and Friday. So I stop eating Wednesday night and I resume eating normally on Friday morning. But on Thursday and Friday, I'm able to have 550 calories each day. The diet didn't really say what they ate. Mostly, I think it just said whole foods maybe. I mean, one day I had like a bunch of mushrooms, like just cups of mushrooms and some sardines. And then on Friday, I usually drink a coffee in the morning and a poke bowl that measured out to perfect 550 calories. So I did that. I feel great. not hungry during those days. Now, at the same time, you don't have to do 2 days. You could do 1 day. 1 day, which is going to be 36 hours. If you do 2 days, it's 60 hours, but you're not completely fasting. You're still having some, like I said, 550 calories. For a woman, I think maybe it's like 400, 450, and maybe eating 1600 on the diet. But, let me know what your numbers are. If you have your maintenance, I'll try to help you out the best that I can and figure out, hey, maybe we could start at this. If you want to try my diet, which is protein pacing and intermittent fasting, we could try that out. But calorie restriction, I still think you can't go wrong with it. So either way you want to try it, go ahead. But this one has been working great. Now, like I said, I do 1800 calories for 5 days, and I do 2 days fasted at 550. And so what that is a total of 10,100 calories. And if you average it out over the week, it actually comes out to less than 1,450 calories, which is crazy. A day, so a day, people were shown to have a 3% muscle gain on this diet, as well as the fact that they lost all that visceral fat, like I mentioned, 33% reduction. And I really think it's because of the high protein intake that you're having, protein pacing as well, protein synthesis, and the fact that fasting does wonders on visceral fat. So honestly, guys, if you want to try it out with me, I'm going to list all my meals. Next thing I want to go over is how I actually work out and things you could actually do at home besides going to the gym that I found great success with. You don't need a ton of weights, and I'll show you what to do. But I very much expect you to jump on this diet now. I have a couple of friends. I know you're doing carnivore. I don't know if you're going to cheat on Christmas or Thanksgiving, but if you are, I'd say, hey, maybe you want to switch out to this diet. At the same time, if you're fat adapted and don't want to lose that, I totally understand. That's 100% awesome. That's where you want to get at. And so wait for my workouts, and you can incorporate those as well. I'm sure you'll get down. Like I said, we're probably 2 weeks behind, but I still thinking you'll get 10 pounds off by end of the year. I think you're still going to lose about 10 pounds. So guys, any questions, let me know. If you are still a little confused, feel free to hit me up, DM me. I'm actually doing this a lot for my friends, but like I said, let's keep doing this together. My progress has been great. Anyway, guys, I keep forgetting to say, but if you want to keep following me, go ahead and subscribe. And at the same time, if you want to see where I'm at, here you go.